Hi guys. For those of you who missed the news yesterday, the UK got, for the first time ever, its first British Asian Prime Minister and the youngest in the past 200 years. Now, naturally, everyone's excited about this, but let's pause that for a bit and talk about the implications of him becoming Prime Minister and Liz Truss's exit. Now, for those of you who are not aware, Sunak's parents initially came over from East Africa and his grandparents were from India, Punjabi actually. And for those of you who are truly living under a rock from the past few months, Sunak also happens to be the son-in-law of the very Narayan Murthy of Infosys from India, who is pretty much one of the biggest businessmen in India. Now, considering the mess the UK is in right now, I think it's safe to assume that all of his initial initiatives will go towards stabilizing the economy. The rising cost of basic amenities like food has the general public worried, and to be really honest, with winter coming in, and the awareness of the fact that the electricity bills or the heating bills are going to skyrocket, everyone in the UK is a little bit nervous at this point, especially when you know a chunk of your money is going to go towards heating bills with the ever-rising energy prices. Now, with the new fiscal plan being due by the 31st of October, I think it's safe to assume that the majority of his attention is going to be diverted towards that. But what does this mean for immigration? Now, when it comes to immigration, everything that the old Prime Minister, who was Liz Truss, wanted in terms of reducing barriers to immigration so that more immigrants could come into the country, which meant more agricultural loans, reduced barriers for English language tests, reduced barriers for people coming with skilled worker visas. Well, all of that is currently up in the air right now, and no one really knows what's going to happen because as of today, she's no longer PM. And that's the bad part because, in effect, she wanted more immigrants to come into the country, which meant more jobs, more labor, more the rising economy because of that. And that directly impacted all of you who are watching this video. So as of now, it's a little sad because we don't know if any of those plans will be implemented or not at this point. Well, the bad part was she was terrible for the economy, so she had to go. And of course, then there's the ex-Home Secretary, Suella Braverman. I mean, she made some pretty controversial statements during her extremely short tenure in office and said that the UK needed to reduce immigration, and even went to the extent of saying that the number of dependents coming in on student visas and skilled visas needed to be reduced, which then went to create worldwide panic among everybody who was planning on moving. But the good news is she's gone. And hopefully her ideologies are gone as well and will not be passed on to anyone else. So which side of the fence is Rishi Sunak? Now, while he hasn't made an official statement ever since he's become PM, something you should keep in mind is that any change that he does want to implement is going to take time. However, if you do go back and look at some of the past statements he made as a part of his election pitch in July, you will get some clues. One of the changes he did suggest was curbing channel crossings from Europe to the UK and tightening asylum rules. Now, obviously, that's bound to send off alarm bells in your head because if that's his overall stance on immigration, then it's a little tricky, right? But here's the thing. He also said he wanted to be pragmatic and ensure that immigration policy supported economic growth, and that's great. That's great because if the UK wants to keep economic growth at the forefront, it needs to offset all of the labor shortages in the country right now, which are directly impacting their economy. That means more hiring. Now, during an event hosted by the Conservative Friends of India Diaspora organization in North London, Sunak said, "We are all aware of the opportunity for the UK to sell things and do things in India. But actually, we need to look at that relationship differently because there is an enormous amount that we can here in the UK learn from India. I want to make sure that it's easy for our students to also travel to India and learn, that it's also easy for our companies and Indian companies to work together because it's not just a one-way relationship, it's a two-way relationship. And that's the type of change I want to bring to that relationship." Now, if his comments are anything to go by, that definitely doesn't look like the words of someone who wants to tighten immigration, but instead have a balanced, open relationship and a conversation when it comes to immigration policies of both of the countries and try and loosen up immigration flow between the countries, right? So that's good. Now, you know, in the past, the foreign trade agreement has been held up partially because of the changing government in the UK, possibly because of statements by Suella Braverman, but hopefully that now gets closed and then we get a lot of closure on a lot of the immigration policies that might possibly change in the coming days. Now, with that being said, this is what you should be doing over the next few days, weeks and months. Follow British news channels and see what changes are being spoken of or what policies have come into effect in the UK, especially when it comes to immigration. If you're applying to a college, speak to your college coordinator and ask them how this is going to impact you if you plan on bringing dependents along with you to the country. If you are applying for a work visa, and if you are in talks with a particular company, ask if you can speak to their immigration lawyers, and ask the immigration lawyers, if they have immigration lawyers and if you have access to them, what impact this will have on you and if you need to make any changes. Now, if you are planning on moving in the next few months, I wouldn't be too stressed about it because any policy needs at least some amount of time to take effect. So I would say that you have time on your hands and not to be too stressed about it. But like you know, it never hurts to keep yourself informed. And with that, that's a wrap.